She called the man who would kill her incredible on TikTok, just 18 days before he pulled the trigger. But at her own funeral, she didn't even get a solo portrait. She was just a background detail in his memorial. January 5th, 2025, 9 days after Christmas. Jennifer Murillo, Sheffield's family gathered at Aunt and Lee Funeral Home in Brandon, Mississippi for a joint service. She was buried alongside the man who shot her. In circulated photographs, Jennifer had no solo portrait, only shared images, a background figure beside him. Even in grief, the space was not built around her. She was 30 years old, a mother, a biochemist, and a TikToker with over 6,000 followers. She had a plan, a future, and a daughter who needed her. But that morning, she was reduced to a footnote in someone else's story. Jennifer Murillo Sheffield was born September 9, 1994, in Mississippi, to Eileen and Gilbert Murillo. Her younger brother, Austin, called her a constant source of love and support. Her roots were close-knit and faith-centered. She was a devoted follower of Christ, and that faith shaped how she moved through difficulty. It was not decorative. It is why, in her final weeks, she still chose gratitude. Her family described her as warm, dependable, and deeply connected to her community. She carried those values into everything she did, from her education to her role as a mother and her work in healthcare. Jennifer earned a Bachelor of Science in Biochemistry and a Master of Science in Biology and Medical Science. At her death, she was enrolled in another master's program at Mississippi College, working toward a medical career. Her academic advisor, Dr. Stan Baldwin, called her committed, not just enrolled, but driven. She loved her band family, her MC family, and her UMMC family at the University of Mississippi Medical Center. She worked in healthcare and moved between professional circles naturally. Helping people was not a job choice. It was her nature. She found a career where she could do what came instinctively. Jennifer was mother to Kylie and Gracie Sheffield, young daughters who were her reason for everything. She also had 4 dogs. On December 10, 2024, she sat in her car and recorded a TikTok video. She was about to become a single mother and asked for money-saving tips. She admitted she was scared. She called her husband incredible and said their divorce was civil. She was transparent about her finances and her fear of living alone. That video was viewed over 2.6 million times. It was not a warning. It was an honest request for help. Jennifer had filed for divorce and was working through the legal details. By all accounts, the separation was amicable. She said so publicly without performance. She was building a new life, a house, a degree, a future for her girls. Her friend F.A. Lott confirmed the divorce was in progress. Lott said Brandon had never been violent in her presence and that she had loved how he loved Jennifer. But the research is clear. The most dangerous moment in intimate partner cases is often not during abuse, but during separation. Jennifer was leaving, and that alone was a documented risk factor. On December 28, 2024, at 7:19 a.m., Brandon police responded to a welfare check on Tulin Street. Jennifer's family had called, unable to reach her. Inside, officers found both Jennifer and Brandon dead from gunshot wounds. Chief Joseph French confirmed it appeared Brandon shot Jennifer then himself. The Mississippi Bureau of Investigation assisted. One of the daughters was believed to have been in the home. The official death date was December 27th. Jennifer was 30, Brandon was 40. No trial would occur. The case was closed as a murder-suicide, but for her family, the questions had just begun. Lott's words, "He's never been a violent person," echoed across the aftermath. That phrase is repeated in nearly every murder-suicide. But research from the National Domestic Violence Hotline shows that lethality does not require a history of physical abuse. Emotional control, financial entanglement, and the stress of separation are invisible risk factors. The period of leaving is the peak danger zone. Brandon's lack of visible violence did not mean an absence of risk. Jennifer's friend was not wrong to be confused. She was grieving, but her statement reveals a dangerous blind spot in how we define danger. A GoFundMe for Kylie and Gracie was organized by Brandon's brother, Brian, with a $15,000 goal. An update on January 1st called Brandon a devoted father who viewed his daughters as his world. That framing sparked outrage. How could the man who orphaned his children be described that way? The family was grieving, and the language was not malicious, but it highlighted a cultural pattern, the tendency to soften the perpetrator's image even after murder. Jennifer's suffering became secondary to the comfort of those mourning her killer. The dissonance was painful and publicly debated. When funeral photos circulated online, viewers were horrified. Jennifer had no solo portrait, only shared images, always beside Brandon. She was invisible in her own farewell, while the man who killed her seemed to take center stage. This is not unique. In murder-suicides, the perpetrator's family often grieves alongside the victims, and the victim gets lost. The confusion is real, but the erasure is damaging. Jennifer deserved her own photograph, her own space, her own memorial. She earned that through 30 years of life, not through her death. The public reaction was swift, frustrated, and justified. Jennifer was 30 years old. She had a master's program, a house, a mortgage, and a future, all in the future tense. None of that exists now, because someone decided her wanting it was not allowed. That is the only sentence belonging to him. The rest is hers. She was a biochemist, a mother, a woman who asked for help and was honest about fear. If you or someone you know is in danger, help is available at 1-800-79-97233. Share her story. Remember Jennifer, not as a victim, but as the woman who was building something.